Welcome to Notre Dame's postgame press conference for the 2022 NCAA March Madness first round. We are joined by Notre Dame head coach Niele Ivey and student athletes Dara Mabry and Olivia Miles. Fighting Irish head coach Niele Ivey will give a brief opening statement before the student athletes receive questions. Following our student athlete availability, we will open the coaching portion of the press conference.
So happy. My first tournament win as a head coach, and my first tournament win with this group. Thought we set the tone early, right from the beginning. I mean, I'm so proud of this group. I felt UMass played phenomenal. I feel like they really threw a lot of punches at us with their half-court shot going into halftime, and then we responded. Second half went up, I think, 18, but just the resilience of this group. We fought, and I'm just, again, so proud to lead this amazing team.
All right, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll go far left, front row.
Nathan Strauss, UMass Radio. For Olivia, you're now on a list of 3 players in Notre Dame history with multiple triple-doubles, with Skylar Diggins-Smith and Jackie Young. When you see your name up there with those program greats, how does that make you feel, and how do you reflect on your game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. You know, those are the all-time greats of Notre Dame, both amazing players. So it just feels like surreal that, you know, my name can be in that company. And after tonight, you know, I felt like, you know, my team was hitting shots, and that's the biggest, you know, area that helps me get these stats. So I credit it all to my teammates. It feels so good, you know, playing with them and just, you know, running the court with them. And they all had my back.
Next question. We will go to our Zoom participants. Tyler Horka.
Yeah, Olivia, I'll stick with you. It looked like you knew as soon as the 3 went through that you had gotten the triple-double. At what point did you realize you only needed 1 more assist? And then what was that moment like when you put your arms up in the air as you were running back down the floor?
Yeah, I think it was a timeout at like the 8:15 mark in the fourth quarter. I went over to one of my assistant coaches and I was like, how many assists do I have? Because I checked the board and saw that I had 10 and 10 points and rebounds. So I was like, I told Dara and I told Maddie, I was like, I need 1 more assist. Like, one of y'all are going to get it from me. And then a few minutes go by and I hit Maddie on a wide open 3 and she knocks it down. And that feeling was just so great, you know. Just the connection and the fact that it was an assist for the triple-double was just all the more special. And, again, that connection is just so amazing.
We'll continue on Zoom. Next question, Eric Hansen.
This question is for both players, so go to Dara first. What was it like to have Abby Prohaska back on the floor? Felt like she kind of gave you a nice burst there in the first half.
Yeah, Abby's one of a kind. She's just one of those players that is willing to sacrifice anything for the betterment of the team, and she presented that right away today. Her presence is felt immediately on our team and the others' team, and it felt great to have her back. You know, for numerous reasons. She just brings a spark to our team. She does a lot of little things that are hard to find sometimes, and she has confidence. You know, you feel her presence, and then everybody feeds off of it. And her leadership as a senior, you know, she's been with this group a long time. She knows what it takes. She's been to the tournament. She made her run freshman year with that group. So I'm really happy to have Abby back.
We'll continue with Zoom, Anthony Anderson.
Congratulations, Lady Anthony Anderson, South Bend Tribune. My question is for Dara, a 2-parter. First of all, Dara, how did it feel to finally be able to play that first NCAA tournament game? And then you had 5 3-pointers tonight. Was there anything about their defense that you knew you were going to have some opportunities early?
Yeah. Going into it, our scout was really good. We knew what type of shots we were going to get, and I practiced those shots all week, so it felt good to see those go through the net. And as for the first part, I'm just really happy to be here, soaking it all up, but understanding that we're here to win, and we got the job done tonight.
JJ Post via Zoom.
JJ Post, The Observer. This one's for Olivia. You know, going back to that triple-double, you know, usually the points and assists, you know, those are always there for you. Rebounds, you know, it's not, you haven't usually, you know, obviously second time this year, but rebounds is not usually where the triple-double comes for you. You know, what were you feeling today on the boards, and, you know, what helped you get so involved?
Yeah, I looked up at this, like, the board, and I saw I had 7 boards, and I was like, what the? I didn't even realize that I had, you know, that many rebounds. But Coach told us that us guards need to get in there. You know, our bigs were getting bumped around. fouled, not called. So it was super important that we were, crashing the boards and I like getting the rebound because then I can push it myself and just go. And that's how I got many of my assists, which turned to points. So it all just connects.
We'll go back to Tyler Horka.
Yeah, this one is for Niel. Niel, you talk all the time about wanting to play fast, and usually when you guys lose, you say we didn't play our game, we didn't play fast enough. Tonight looked like a track meet. If you guys wanted to run to Norman, you probably would have made it there in time earlier this week. How awesome was it for you to see your girls play so fast? And then even with that lull in the second and the third quarter, you guys got back to playing fast in the second half too.
Yes, we talked about playing our brand of basketball, and our brand of basketball is pace, pushing pace. And we talked about that all week, the last 2 weeks, that at ACC tournament we didn't play fast, and I felt like when we do play fast, it's to our advantage. I like to average at least 20 and 25 points in transition, and I thought Olivia did a great job of setting the tone, pushing pace right from the beginning. Like I said, it's something we work on all the time. We watch film on it. It's something that I stress to this group so they understand that I think we're very dangerous in transition, especially with Olivia's ability to see the floor with her vision. So I was really happy with the way we started, and also, like you said, when we went on a little lull, we finally got the stops and we got out and ran. So I was really pleased with our effort and loved the pace today.
With no additional questions for our student athletes, Dara and Olivia, you are now dismissed.
Thank you.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll go second chair inside on the right.
Neil, what did they do? Matt Votor, Mass Life. What did they do to you guys kind of late in that second quarter that allowed them to make up some ground? Was it something that they did or something that you guys got out of at that point?
Yes, excuse me. I thought we turned the ball over because of their defense. I thought their defense was really tough. I thought they started sitting off and clogging up the paint. And so we were trying to force the ball inside, and I just didn't think we made, great decisions. And then Breen, she's phenomenal. I think she ended with 31 points. And also Taylor, I thought off of our turnovers, they really executed and scored off of our turnovers. So I thought really it was their defense. They switched it up. They were more aggressive in the beginning of the game, and then they clogged the paint.
Any additional in person? We'll go front right.
Jacob Munch, WMUA UMass Radio. What do you have to say about all your young players in their first NCAA game? They came out absolutely firing, and then to shift the momentum after Breen's buzzer beater, what can you say about their mental toughness?
Yeah, well, we talked about, with them not having the experience, we've tried the last 2 weeks to really present and show and talk to them about what it feels like to be in the tournament. With not having any experience, we had long conversations, a lot of messaging from my entire staff. My entire coaching staff has played in these NCAA tournament, so we try to prepare our young group to understand what it feels like, the atmosphere, knowing that it doesn't matter the seeding. Everyone's playing with desperation. And so I was really proud of the way that they started this game. I thought Sonia got a foul early, got a little bit tentative, but then she fought through that. I'm sorry, what was your second question?
Just their response after Breen's half-court heave.
Yeah. So I had good few words in halftime to really try to stress the importance of keeping our tone, keeping our foot on the gas, making sure that we did a better job on defense, having awareness of their shooters, and also taking care of the ball. So I felt like they responded to that. It took a while. I think we took a couple minutes before either team scored. But then we finally kind of got into our sets, got into the action that we wanted, and then got up and down in transition.
We'll continue with the next question on the far right. Oh, second chair.
You mentioned Breen a moment ago. What was kind of the plan on her going in, and did she do a pretty good job of kind of working against it?
No, I thought she was fantastic, and she was somebody that we've been focusing on all week. I put Maddie on her, thought her was going to try to have size to try to bother her, but my game plan was to try to limit her touches. She played 40 minutes. I thought she played her heart out. She left it on the floor. She got 12 for 18, 3 for 4 from the three-point line. We didn't do our job against her, but again, she's got a lot of experience, a veteran, and I thought she played phenomenally well. So we didn't do a great job on her.
Next question, front left.
Nadja Woods, ABC 57 News South Bend. I mean, Coach, you've been here as a player, you've been here as an assistant, but never as a head coach. So, I mean, how do you feel? How special is this? And how are you looking to get the win in the next round?
Well, it's such a special moment. I had an opportunity to text Coach McGraw today and asked her for some advice. What advice can you give me, Coach, for my first game? And so we had a really good conversation. But, again, I just feel so blessed. You know, this is a moment that I've dreamt of my entire life as far as being a head coach, and to be able to sit that one seat over and to lead this group, this team, is just a dream come true. And then again, this is not, like Dara said earlier, like I'm embracing the moment. I'm embracing every single part of this journey, but I'm also not satisfied, and I don't want the team to be satisfied to just be here. You know, we're here to hopefully, pray until we get 2 wins, but I'm just happy that we took care of business against a really tough UMass team. We came together and found a way to win.
We'll go front right with the next question.
This was the most frustrated we've ever seen Destiny Philoxy in her time at UMass. Was there something in particular that you focused on this week to get ready for her aggressiveness?
Yeah, well, she's leading the team in free throws, so we talked about like trying to stay in front of her, try to contain her, and then sending her to Maya. Maya's our rim protector. She's somebody that we know that can help us. And I thought Maya just presence sometimes I think frustrated her, and she had I think 6 turnovers. And again, she does such a great job of getting downhill. But I definitely think that our presence in the paint helped try to contain her.
We'll continue on the far right.
We mentioned, some of the Notre Dame greats that now have multiple triple doubles. When you see Olivia with a performance like this, how high do you think her ceiling is? Because obviously, you know all the players whose names she's now next to in the record book.
Gosh, I don't think she has a ceiling. She's so special. I knew she was special from the moment first time I saw her, and also when she decided to come to Notre Dame, I knew with the impact. She's different, as far as her flair, her style of game. She has great vision like Skylar, but she plays different, just with her flair, her swag. But I mean, it's just incredible that she can come into her first tournament game and get a triple double. And I didn't even think I think she still has so many areas that continue to grow. I'm just really proud. She came in, she was mentally focused, she was ready, and she's engaging, always asking questions. She has a super high IQ. And I'm so proud of her, for her to help us to lead this team to our first victory, and for her to have that individual accolade.
Any more in-person questions? All right, we'll go to Zoom. We'll go to JJ Post.
Coach, today you did a really good job spreading the ball around. Obviously, all the starters but Sonia got over into double-digit points. Sonia herself had 9. What do you think you did, against, UMass playing man-to-man to, really space the floor and get everyone involved?
Yeah, well, my goal was to establish our inside game initially, so that was the goal. I really wanted to get out and run. I thought we mixed it up perfectly. Like you said, we have great balance. 4 of our starters in double figures. Well, I thought we shared the ball really well. So they sat off and really tried to clog the lane. I thought we did a great job of making the extra pass, and that extra pass really helped us. And then, again, we had an opportunity to share the ball in transition. So I thought that was phenomenal today.
We'll stay with Zoom. Eric Hansen.
Hey, Coach, a 2-parter here. Can you comment on Maya Dotson's game for you? And the second question is, did you get more out of Abby than you expected? I mean, she came right in and was instant offense and energy right away.
Right. Well, Maya, first of all, she has really transformed our program from the moment she stepped in South Bend on our campus. She is such a great presence inside. She's such a hard worker. Her athleticism is through the roof. And I thought she was ready. She set the tone. She helped us rebounding. And I thought, honestly, she had 2 fouls. And the past couple of weeks, she struggled being tentative with 2 fouls. And I thought she found a way to still stay aggressive. So I thought her play was amazing, especially with having, she was getting banged up down there. So I thought she really did a great job of trying to finish with contact and getting to the free throw line. She got to the free throw line the most today. And to comment on Abby Prohaska, we were so happy that Abby's healthy. Just seeing her in the gym the last 2 weeks, working on her cardio, working on her, just getting her rhythm back. She's ready. She's got shades coming on the bus. Like, she's ready. She's a senior. She's waited for this moment, and again, she's battled so many injuries this season. She's had a lot of adversity, and she's just ready to play. She's ready to contribute. She's my toughness. She gives us that toughness and that energy that we need. She's an incredible spark off the bench, and I'm just so happy that she's back with us.
We'll continue with Zoom. Anthony Anderson.
Neil, following up on a previous response, what was the advice when you texted Muffet that she gave you, if she gave you any? And you suspected on Wednesday that you might be a little bit nervous, even with preparation. Did you feel nervous at all?
Yeah, well, my question to the coach was, what advice do you have for this first one, for the first round? And she just talked about, just making sure that we set the tone, and to stay aggressive, to start fast. So that was her advice. And no, I didn't know how I was going to be today, and I wasn't nervous. I felt like we've been working really hard to prepare. I watched a lot of film on UMass, so I felt comfortable not just listening to the scout, but also just feeling the rhythm of UMass and figuring out my in-game adjustments if I needed them. So I felt really comfortable, and again, I felt excited. It was just the energy being here. I was ready.
Final question for Tyler Horka.
Yeah, Neil, it seemed like this game had a little bit of everything. Obviously, you guys started out hot. They made a run, had a buzzer beater, had an opponent going off for 30-plus points. How much does all of that kind of help you guys moving forward and saying, okay, we've played an NCAA tournament game. We've seen all of this. Now we're in this thing, and we can just go play our game.
I think it's going to be great because we have film now that we can show different areas that we need to get better. Our turnovers, our defense, having awareness of their shooters, and also, again, like the momentum of the game. Like you said, setting the tone early, getting up 18, turning the ball over. Like, there's so many areas that we can fix. We do have 24 hours to do that, at least see it. I mean, it's nothing that we can work on, but I think having a game that had a lot of runs, I think that's great because it shows this team also that it doesn't matter how many points you're up. Like, at any moment, a team can come back, and that's the environment of the NCAA tournament. You're trying to survive. So it was great for us to have so many scenarios that we'll grow from because we are a very young group.
Thank you, Coach. That concludes Notre Dame's availability. Mute yourself in order to ask your question. Welcome to the Massachusetts Postgame Press Conference for the 2022 NCAA March Madness first round. We are joined by head coach Tori Verdi and student athletes Sam Brienne and Sydney Taylor. Minutewomen head coach Tori Verdi will give a brief opening statement before the student athletes receive questions. Following our student athlete availability, we will open the coaching portion of the press conference.
Just really proud of these guys to my right in our team. We had an unbelievable year. We've accomplished so much. And, I think, tonight's game really doesn't, define, who we are and what our season was all about. We played a really good team, and we got to give Notre Dame a lot of credit, for what they did on both sides of the ball. But again, it doesn't define who we are as a program and as a team. And we have so many firsts this year. It was the first time in the history of the program where we won an A-10 tournament championship. The first time, we have the most wins in the history of the program. We have, the first time in the history of the program where we have 3 players make the all-conference teams in the A10. We have the player of the year. So, regardless of this game tonight, there's so much for us to celebrate. And this team has been special. It's been an unbelievable journey, and just really proud of what they've accomplished.
Now we are ready for questions for our student athletes. Inside right.
Matt Votor, Mass Live. If I'm doing this right, this is for both of you. I'll start with Sydney. A lot of teams in this tournament would get down 17 points in the second quarter, especially teams that had never been here before, and that would be it. What was different for you guys? What did you guys do to kind of turn that around to stand in and play as well as you did for as much of the game as you did after that?
Well, we're definitely a team that never quits. So a 3-minute run is not going to define us. There's 40 minutes in a game, and we know they're going to make their runs. We'll make our runs. So just staying in it and knowing that the game wasn't even close to over and that we had so much more to play.
Yeah, kind of like what Sydney said. We're not a team that has any quit in us. We've been there before. We've had games this season where we've been down big and clawed back, and it's been a one-possession game, whether we pulled it off or not. But like she said, they're going to go on runs, and we went on our runs. Unfortunately, we didn't close the gap all the way, obviously. But, they're a really good team, and just keeping our composure with all the experience that we have is how we stayed in it.
We'll go front right with the next question.
Jacob Munch, WMUA UMass Radio. Sam, you tied a career high with 31 points in your first ever NCAA game. What was the key for you to have that much offensive success?
I don't know, just confidence, I guess. First time I've ever been here, we've all ever been here, and just knowing, it's a big stage, nothing to lose. That was really the mindset, just nothing to lose.
We'll continue on the far right.
You two have shared the court over the last. Nathan Strauss, UMass Radio. You two have shared the court, Sam, since you arrived over the last 3 years. I know it's early after this game, but having gotten a taste of the NCAA tournament, is there any sort of lesson that you can take away about what it takes to compete at this level and sort of maybe going into next year as you guys are both leaders?
I think that this isn't going to be our first time here. We'll definitely be back. I think our team, I don't know, most people are returning. Next year's going to be a really good year, obviously. But yeah, we'll definitely be back. We have a lot of talent on our team. Just working with that and developing our game even more.
Yeah, kind of like Sam said, we'll definitely be back. No surprise there. Just getting back in the gym, working harder, working on the things that we need to improve on, and just coming back stronger next year.
We'll continue on the right, on the inside in the second row.
Sam, can you walk us through what you saw at the end in the last play of the half as far as what you're thinking, your awareness of the clock, and then what that play did for you guys in terms of confidence and momentum?
Yeah, I knew Angelique got the rebound. There's probably 3-4 seconds left. Me and Sid were both leaking out. She had us both. She hit me, and I knew I had to get it off. Why not? Got it off in time, and I think that was a big momentum thing going into halftime. It brought it within 8 points. So I think that definitely helped. But yeah, just going through my mind, I knew I had to at least get it off.
Any additional in person? We'll go front right.
For both of you, we can start with Sid. What did Notre Dame do in the first quarter that knocked you back on your heels so much?
I feel like they just shared the ball really well. Got us in rotation a lot, hit the open man in the skip passes. We were just a little late closing out, helping on the weak side, and we knew what we had to do. We fixed in the second quarter, and we got it back to, like Sam said, got it back to 8 points, and that was a huge momentum shift.
Kind of like what Sydney said, I feel like it was more defensively than offensively. We were missing a lot of shots that we usually make, but it's not like we weren't scoring at all, so it was a big defensive thing. They were definitely finding the open man, hitting the open man. Like she said, we were just a second late, and they did a really, really good job finishing shots, finishing inside, finishing all that.
We'll continue in the second, on the right, in the second row.
Sam, are there things that you experience in this game that you can only experience in this game, in a NCAA tournament game, that you'll think about in the off season when you're in the weight room, when you're spending time, trying to work on your game. How do you use this game, specifically with the caliber of team that you played, to try to get you and this team and this program to get value out of losing this game?
I think the main thing is just we can compete with anyone, and that's going to be something we take into the off season. We'll come back next year, compete just with anyone. Obviously, they're a really talented team. We had it within 5 or 6 late in the game, so just that mindset and knowing we're not afraid of anyone, and then just continue to develop, and we're only going to get better.
Any additional in person? We've got a Zoom question from Hannah Beavis.
Hannah Beavis, Daily Hampshire Gazette. This one's for both Sam and Sid. We can start with Sid. You guys knew going into the game that size was going to be something that you were going to have to deal with Notre Dame. Once you actually got on the floor and had to deal with their length, how do you think you guys were able to handle that?
Well, yeah, they're really big, but going into the game, our game plan was just kind of help on if they were ducking in the post, kind of the 2 corner players kind of helping a little bit. I mean, they finished around the basket. We kind of missed a couple box outs that we could have gave us a little bit more momentum. But yeah, they're a big team. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think their length necessarily bothered us too much on the defensive end. I mean, they definitely altered some shots, but I think we were getting open looks. And then, yeah, kind of like Sid said, they were hitting tough shots and creating that really for themselves. I don't know, they're just a step quicker, really.
We'll go back to Hannah Beavis with the final question.
I know you guys have said that this isn't going to be the last time that you'll be at the NCAA tournament, but it is the first time that you guys are both here. So starting with Sid, what has this experience been like for you all, being on the biggest stage?
I mean, this is everything to me. I grew up watching this tournament with my family, and it's just a dream to be in it, win or lose. The scenario is just the stage is so big. There's so many people watching. So I'm just so grateful for the experience, and I just can't wait to be back here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been, a dream since I feel like all of us were little. So obviously the outcome isn't what we wanted, but just being here and being on this stage was an amazing experience, and there's just no other group of people that I would have wanted to be here with. So that in itself was just amazing.
That concludes our student athlete availability. Thank you, Sam and Sydney. You're dismissed.
Thank you.
If you have a question for Coach, please raise your hand. We'll go to the far right.
When you look back upon this season, a season with no blowout losses and all of those firsts that you mentioned, is there a particular element of this team that you are most proud of?
I'm just thankful that I get the opportunity to coach them each and every single day. That in itself was a blessing. And so, everything else is just a bonus. And you got to think about the amount of time that we spend with our student athletes. We see them every day for hours and hours and hours, regardless if they're on the court, okay, or off the court. And so it's just those times you get to really develop those relationships. You really get to know your players for who they are as people. And so to me, that's the most special thing. As far as, where we were to where we are now, I'm just really thankful and really appreciate. I'm just excited and happy for everything that they've accomplished this year.
We'll go continue on the right, second row.
What were you thinking on the buzzer beater? What's going through your mind as you're watching that develop at the end of the first half?
Well, Ange got the rebound. I'm like, Ange, get the ball out of your hands. I mean, get the outlet, and Sam was right there. And, and it's funny because as soon as Sam launched, I'm like, that's going in, so that was great, a little momentum going into, the halftime. But, in the first half, especially in the first period, we just did a lot of things that were uncharacteristic of who we were. And, they kind of hit us right off the bat, and, we were on our heels. And I just thought that, defensively, we were dysfunctional at times, but you got to give Notre Dame credit for attacking us. I thought Miles did a great job of splitting us on the on-ball screen action and attacking downhill. And, we didn't do a great job of, hedging the on-ball screen action. And, and so it got us in rotation and, gave them high percentage shots. And lastly, we didn't box out and rebound. And we knew that we needed to match their physicality here tonight. And it goes for all 5 players on the floor. Everyone needs to. I mean, it doesn't make sense when you have 4 people boxing out and then one person just standing and watching. And then we give up second chance opportunity points. And so, that was a big thing. And then also, we gave up points in transition, just passes from the backcourt to the front court for layups. And that's something that we have not done all year long. So, I just think that, it took us a while to really settle down, and so that's, what I'm hoping for. We have the bulk of this team coming back next year, and so I hope that this, it was, a great experience for them and they got a taste of what it's like, but we're ready to take that next step. And in order to move on, like, you got to do all those little things, and we talk about them all the time. You got to box out. It's every possession. It's every single possession. And I felt here tonight that, for whatever reason, we weren't locked into doing all those little things for 40 minutes.
We'll go front right.
What do you think Notre Dame did that shut down Destiny in particular? She seemed very frustrated. And then also, just this game aside, what can you say about her progression this year throughout her time at UMass?
Yeah, I mean, I think that their length bothered her, especially at the rim. She has the, she's explosive. She could turn the corner and try to get to the basket. I mean, that's what she's done all year, but really struggled because they stayed on her hip. So she's turned the corner, but yet she has a body on her hip, and then she has zero coming over, and their length bothered her, and so I know that she was trying to force it just a little bit too much, and at the end of the day, she's so competitive and she wants to win so bad, but I think that she was kind of forcing it just a little bit too much, where she didn't allow the game come to her. But as far as Destiny and the evolution of who she is as a player and as a person, I mean, I could write a book on it, and it's a feel good story. And she's one of the main cornerstones to our program. There's no question about it. When we recruited her, we were trying to bring some athleticism into our program. We know that she was dynamic. We knew that she was fast, but she worked on her game each and every single season. She continued to improve as a player. But then, not only did she improve as a player, then we looked at her as, for leadership. And she didn't want that role in the beginning because she didn't know. She's like, well, I can't hold myself accountable. How am I going to hold other people accountable? But then she continued to grow, and there was a maturation process that took place, and then became a leader. And she did a great job of holding her teammates accountable because she knew what we needed to do in order to win a championship. But this game here today doesn't define who she is as a player. She's had an unbelievable career. She's over 1,000-point scorer for us, over 500 assists, and so I'm just extremely proud of Destiny, who she is both on and off the court.
We'll continue on the right, go back to the second row.
Did Sam's confidence kind of get contagious as the game went on? She was early in the game didn't look rattled compared to some people at the beginning, and then it seemed like as the game went on, that as she continued to make shots and continued to make plays, that other people kind of picked that up around her.
Yeah, nothing phases Sam Breen. I mean, nothing. And that's just who she is. She's so confident in herself, in her abilities, and she has a mental toughness about her. But you got to understand, like that's conditioned. Like, she shows up to practice each and every single day, and she's our hardest worker. So, like, all this, I mean, there's no surprise here. There's no surprise in what she does out in the court for us, because she does it each and every single day.
Any additional in-person questions? We'll go to Zoom. We'll start with Hannah Beavis.
Talked about how nothing can phase Sam Breen. I also wondered if you could speak to the play of Bernaya. I don't have the box score in front of me right now, but I think by midway through the third quarter, she had the most rebounds despite being the smallest player out on the court, just as a sophomore. What did you like about her game tonight?
Well, I mean, she's her competitive spirit. I mean, I've said this all along. I think she's the most undervalued player, point guard, in the A-10. I mean, she gets absolutely zero credit, and this is a player who's started every single game since her freshman year. And you look at what she does, She does a great job of creating for herself and creating for her teammates, and she plays every minute of the game. And there's never, her competitive spirit is it's unbelievable, and her coachability, is off the charts, and so to me, I look at her and I'm like, Bernai, do you need a sub? Are you tired? And she's like, no, I'm good. And that's what I get each and every single day from her, and she gets zero credit. She gets zero credit. But that's who she is. She doesn't care who's out on the floor. She doesn't care that she's playing against Notre Dame. She doesn't care. She's going to go out there and be competitive. She's going to continue to drive and attack, and try to get to the rim. And I know that she fell short a little bit in the first half, but she made up for it in the second half.
Next question via Zoom, Lulu Kessing.
Lulu Kesson, Massachusetts Daily Collegian. After the Iowa State loss in November, you kind of talked about what that game would mean in terms of March and just putting UMass on the map, and kind of how it was an advantage playing that game in November. So flash forward to now, how are you going to continue to build this momentum into next season now that you're not only just a consistent force in the tournament, but also just making sure that these putting yourself on the map moments aren't few and far between?
Yeah, I think that this experience today, this game today, it's something that you grow from, and it's really hard to get here, first of all. That's what people have to understand. It's really hard to win a championship as well. So our players understand what it takes, the effort, the work that you have to put in during the off season to get you prepared for just the longevity of the season in itself, and so it's just each and every single day, it's a grind and you have to work at it. But I think that just being here, playing on this stage and just the moment in itself, this is a dream for a lot of people. This was a dream for a lot of our players, and so just now being here, I think that if we have the opportunity, which we're going to work like heck to come back, next year so that we're back here again, I just think we're going to be, more experienced, and we're not going to allow a first, a period like we had today, the first period. We're not going to allow something like that to happen. We'll be more prepared for that moment. And, but I'm super excited about this team. I'm super excited about what we have returning, but at the end of the day, we need to continue to work harder, and we need to continue to be different than we were this year. And this year we were good. There's no question about that. We did some amazing things. But if you want to take that next step, you need to be different the following year.
Thank you, Coach. That concludes
Thank you.
Massachusetts availability.